We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again. Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What's up, bro?
What's happening, man?
Sitting up trying to get the doggone pod up. It took forever for my phone to find it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's up.
All right. Yeah. That sounded louder.
What sounded louder?
Oh no, just you. What you just said though. When your volume cranked up. Hey, let me ask you this though. This is the whole separate thing. I don't think that we got this even listed on the here though, man. But I wanted to get your opinion real quick though, man. We could talk about it more because we got some NFL stuff to talk about. But you know, like today, right immediately after we talked, we sent out the notification about the podcast. They had something about the Dolphins owner being fined, and there was some they were reprimanded some draft picks. But aside from that though, man, Calvin Ridley, he ended up, I think sometime in the offseason, I don't know when, maybe he was hurt or something like that. But he wound up betting $1,500 on the game, basically. I'm assuming that he betted for the Falcons or whatever. And so he is facing a year-long suspension, though, bro. I wanted to see, do you think that that's fair for betting on he's an active player and he's betting on the game? You got a problem with that?
Not at all. Was he playing in the game?
No, he was not playing in the game.
Okay, then I don't have a problem with it. My thing is that if you have no part in the outcome of the game, then I don't have an issue with it.
Let's get that music going on. I gotta ask you something about that there. Listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. We are live on both platforms. You can on Facebook. Go to the page, like it. On YouTube, hit the little bell button. You can get the notifications whenever your boys them go live, so you could be like the homie Jarian and know every time we are live. Ace Kennedy. Before we dive into it, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, bro. We didn't get a chance to pod on Friday. So listen, if it was a Friday episode, give me the best thing you've seen since last Friday.
The best thing that I've seen would have to be the pre-release of the new single X-Man.
Hey. Yeah. Where's the air horns for that, please? Air horns for that, please.
No, the pre-release of the song, it's not released on all platforms yet. Just have it up on the site right now. Been getting a lot of positive feedback. As a matter of fact, one of the homies was like, bro, I'm not gonna front. He's like, this is probably my favorite song. And then even somebody from my job was like, she's like, I love your music. She's like, this one's up there. This one's pretty up there. She said, I think I'm more impressed with all of the background stuff going on. She was like, you that can't be all you. I said, no, it's all me. Been getting a lot of positive response from it. So I can't wait for it to hit all of the streaming platforms. I believe Friday is
Okay.
when that drops on all platforms. But just loving the feedback, loving the artwork, loving the album cover, which was designed by you. So no,
Hey,
that's the best thing that I've seen. It's always great to release new music, especially knowing the behind the scenes of how this song even came to be, from beginning to end. And
facts.
it we fought on this song just like we fight on
Oh
everything.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's probably, you know, what's funny though. This one has probably been one of the ones that I think. So it was gonna be very easily what the best one I've seen. You know, best thing I've seen this whole week as well. Primarily, from a standpoint of just that, like the work to get it out right, everything that was involved with it, though, man. So yeah, yeah, yeah. For it to be, you know, the presented the way that it is, though. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I really like the song. I think the best part for me, my parents were in town this weekend, and we were on the way to Blue Zoo or somewhere, and Charlie starts singing the melody of the song. Like, she don't quite know all the words, but she was over and over. She kept singing the melody, and I wasn't playing the song. It was just and so I just thought that was dope. That for her to just remember it like that and be singing it. So no, I thought it was dope.
That's fire. That's fire,
What
though,
about you?
bro. That's dope. No, listen. We'll talk about the Beyonce in a little bit, but that was also probably the best thing, though, man. I was genuinely happy for you. I knew how excited you were about putting the song on out, though, man. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I was that was it for me.
Yes, and it's also the first release from the new distribution. So
Yeah,
that's also been a thing, which is why it's kind of been like a little bit of a disconnect on knowing when the songs actually drop, because of just trying to make sure rules and stuff are in place. But all in all, still glad that it's out, available for people to hear, and will be great, once the masses get the opportunity, people who are too lazy to go to the site, that can actually just go to their favorite streaming service and listen to it there.
I always wonder if people download music still versus streaming it, and I always wonder. So I always wonder, right? When we talk about, you know, people that go platinum and people that go whatever, right? I know that when it comes to streaming, a million streams is nothing. So I don't think that a million streams is like a platinum, like how we typically think. Although I would take it, right? But I guess I just wonder though, when they say a million, you know what I'm saying? Like if you go whatever, does that mean you've had a million people for a single, right? A million people buy the whole album, download it versus the people who actually stream it. That's
It's mixed. I mean,
okay.
it is mixed. There are people that still buy stuff, but a lot of people, excuse me, that pay the subscription, and they get the music that way.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the fact
Yep.
that they have a choice on what they want to listen to or download or buy, it does make it that much more special or whatever when people do choose to do that. So yeah.
Right, right. So listen, right before we hopped on, we were talking about I had talked about Calvin Ridley. Now this kind of, I wanted to get your opinion on this one only because, like I said, probably just a little earlier today, the Miami Dolphins, they were accused of tanking one, but this was largely in part to their Brian Flores, their coach, who was basically saying, listen, man, they were trying to pay me to tank, right? And so he was just like, it's weird, bro, because the Dolphins response to it, like they were fined, like I think the owner was fined like $1 million. They were docked a couple of draft picks, and the owner was like, see, I told y'all we wasn't tanking. And everybody's like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, you're fine because there's unprecedented finding that that's the case, though. But I say that only because like that happened. The Calvin Ridley thing is the one I was asking you about because again, he was fine. He was not playing. I believe that, I think if I'm not mistaken, Calvin Ridley by then had taken off some time to address mental health issues and things like that. And so because that was the case though, man, it's like, all right, he wasn't playing, but I believe he put 1,500 on the Falcons though, bro. And I think he was suspended, or he set out most of last year for those particular reasons. But now my understanding is that he is being suspended for the entire year because of that, though. Is that a fair thing, though?
It's not fair unless it clearly states in some sort of agreement with that they sign that you're unable to do that. If it's stated somewhere that upon you playing in the National Football League, you're not allowed to gamble or bet or whatever. And even if it's in there, but it's not clearly defined as far as like while you're actively playing or something, like whatever the language is, if it's not clearly stated, then I think it's wrong. But if it is stated, then there's no conversation about it. Then you have to pay the consequences for it.
You see, I think, I don't know if they've made this official, but and they may have. I haven't seen anything like from ESPN. I typically trust ESPN, Bleacher Report. But I think that the part that is interesting to me about it though, bros, because Pete Rose betted while he was a manager on his teams, and I think that was in baseball. Of course, he was a manager, right? So you have more control over the outcome of the game. And I just think that in terms of the professional integrity of the game, right? To say, all right, we don't want people to feel like what they're watching is manipulated or whatever, right? I think that you got to send the message. So I don't, if he was fined half the season, I wouldn't have been mad about that at all. But I think that I'm also not mad at them basically saying, we send him for the whole season, only because you gotta be as harsh as possible so that you don't, you know what I'm saying, have some flimsy precedent on how those things should be handled going forward.
Yeah, but my thing is, I think that it's okay to make an example of somebody, but again, it's with the caveat that there was rules in place. Because if you just like, oh, we need to protect the game, and we think that this is, it has to have been stated. If there was something written in the contract or in some sort of players, whatever their documentation is to play in football, if it's not clearly stated somewhere, then nah, I'm sorry, that's too harsh.
See, here's the thing I think that's interesting. I think that the part that I kind of go back and forth on is that I get it, right? I don't know where I think that there is something in the NFL bylaws that basically says there is absolutely no gambling. It will not be tolerated. I don't know what the penalties of it is, right? That's one thing. I think I thought about that because it's an unprecedented event, right? Nobody's ever been caught gambling on a game. I think that that's why they give the swiftest and harshest penalty right then and there to deter it. But the flip side of that, right, is now Deshaun Watson, right? Since we've been as of today, he has settled all but one of his sexual assault accusation and civil trials, right? And then the NFL comes back and announced formally that he will be suspended for 6 games. Let me tell me your opinion about this whole thing. Now, they went to an independent arbitrator or an independent judge. So this wasn't a scenario where Roger Goodell, like it was in the past, would be the judge, jury, executioner, where he would just do whatever he felt necessary. They took it out of his hand, had an independent judge go ahead and do it. This is a federal judge, a former federal judge. And she said, based off of what you guys currently have in place, I deemed 6 games to be an appropriate amount of fairness, basically. Are you good with that?
I'm so confused. I'm not confused, but is the NFL 16 weeks or 12?
It's 17 now.
Okay.
17 games.
Then I'm okay with it. I probably would have said 4 games. My thing is this: it doesn't matter whether or not he had to be suspended for some games because
Facts.
you violated the NFL code of conduct and you brought a very, very negative light upon the NFL. The NFL has to take some sort of stance. I would have been okay with 4 to 6 games. The 6 games, you still got 10 games that you can do what you do. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing: the Browns should have had that on their radar, knowing that there was some sort of penalty that was coming with him, and they still wanted him as a quarterback. So I'm not mad at the 6 games. Now I understand that Roger Goodell can come and overrule her, and then Deshaun Watson them can sue the NFL, but then that also that will open up the books to what's actually happened in these cases. So it's like a catch-22. If if the weeds come out of what's really going on, then you're gonna look even worse than you already look. So you might as well just take the 6 games, sit down, and shut up.
Yo,
now what happens if Goodell says the whole year? What you think about that?
So that is a good point. So the NFL with Roger Goodell as I'm assuming the spokesperson recommended when they went into the judge, they said we want to sit him for the year. So they were trying to have him miss the entire game. And then basically she says, hey, you guys have had sexual misconduct cases in the past, right? And you've set the precedent. You have it on record that, you know what I'm saying, these are the kind of penalties for those. So with Ezekiel Elliott, right? He had 6 games, even though there was a chick who found that he was clear of it, and still they gave him the 6 games. And so I think that the whole thing that she was basically saying is that, listen, we're not saying that what you're suggesting that he did isn't wrong, it isn't as egregious as possible. It's one of the worst things that she said she's ever seen. But NFL, you don't have it clearly listed on what is the penalty for violating those that level of severity. That being said, for me personally, though, bro, if they would have suspended him for the entire year, I would have been okay with it. And I'll tell you the reason why I would have been okay with it. I'm okay with it because I think that the Cleveland Browns and he was prepared for a whole year. I say that because when he re-signed his deal with the Cleveland Browns, he restructured his deal and give him a genius move. He went ahead and restructured his deal so that he has a very minimum. I think he only makes or subject to make maybe like $3 million for this season, right? Because they knew he was like, all of his money doesn't kick in until next season. So they were like, all right, if the NFL suspends him for 6 games, 8 games, whatever, that at a minimum, he wouldn't lose out on all them big game checks. And game checks, I think that he's only going to lose out on like $360,000, $370,000 or something like that. And so I'm looking at that. If I'm the NFL, I'm thinking like, oh, you know that this was wrong because you prepped your contract in anticipation of this kind of backlash. But I think that for the same reasons why even though you've had sexual misconduct allegation and situations in the past, they were never to this extent. And so I think that suspending him for the entire year, I would have been okay with it, only because you do have to send that kind of strong message because you have all these female, like my thing is that if you're a Cleveland Brown, if you're a Cleveland Brown fan and you're a female, like I don't see how that sits well with you that you're sitting here with this guy who just settled 23 allegations of sexual misconduct and you know the details of it. And not just that though, bro, that's 20 something that settled. That's 4 that they interviewed. They said that he was around 60 something, that he's reached out to 60 massage therapists.
Yeah,
so
but here's my thing though. I'm not so concerned about what everybody else thinks when they're dealing with something that happened within their organization. Here's the thing. He settled those cases. So if he's not like, regardless of the level of guilt or whatever the case may be, the people who were actually affected accepted X, Y, and Z from him. So at the same token, I also feel like people get the opportunity to redeem themselves. If the NFL is going to say, based upon our track record of how we've handled stuff like this in the past, and this is what the outcome is, I'm okay with them just giving him 6 games. Because here's the thing: at the end of the day, those fans or anybody that's a part of that organization or whatever the case may be, even the people watching TV and this, that, and the other, they have a choice on whether they want to watch him play.
I would have said, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If they was talking about suspending them for half a season, and then they wanted to do 6, I would say, bro, listen, let's split the middle. All right, I'm gonna suspend you for 8 games. I think that would have been more pro, because here's the thing. I don't. This is the thing about it, bro. Maybe it's just me. All right, this is funny because I had this conversation with my boy Damien. Shout out to Damien. And he was just asking. We had this conversation about when it comes to people, right? Being able to, we talked about R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, right? But R. Kelly specifically on being able to separate the man from the musician, separating R. Kelly from Robert Kelly, and being able to appreciate the music from R. Kelly. And he was like, where do you draw the line at? Right? Can you, in this case, though, is the expectation, though, that if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, then granted, there are options. I mean, it's not like Cleveland has the best team and the best record. But I guess my thing is that, do you just say, you know what? You can either accept it and separate Deshaun Watson in his personal life from what he does on the field for your team, or just pick a whole nother team. Like that's why I think that, to me, those seem like the options. And this is why I would say, if you're the NFL, you try to do everything you can to get as many games as have him sit down.
Yeah, but I mean, again, he settled his legal stuff outside of it. Like, he settled all of that stuff outside of one right now, outside of the season. So my thing is that he still needs an opportunity to be able to redeem himself for whatever people think is actually wrong with what he did.
Does everybody? This is my thing. So Damien asked me a very good question. Mm-hmm. Right? Does everybody deserve an opportunity to be redeemed? Like, when is it that's no longer the expectation that all is forgiven?
I didn't say all was forgiven. I said redeem yourself. So my thing is this. My thing is this: we are not the judge, jury, and executioner to say when somebody is unredeemable. Like, yes, you can do that, but I'm saying, like, my thing is that everything is a choice. So if you don't agree with what's going on, you don't have to watch it. You can choose another team. And then here's the thing: if all of the Cleveland Browns, like, think about the Washington Commanders, right? They were showing a lot of the preseason workouts and stuff like that. And when it came to the Washington Commanders, it was about 3 people out there, where everybody else, there was like, it looked like it was a game almost for people out there at the practices and stuff like that. So the fans have clearly spoken that, look, we are not okay with this organization right now, right? Yeah. So my thing is, if the Cleveland Browns, if they had home games and only 1,000 people, 500 people, 300 people, 25 people showed up to the game, that's how you would show that we are not okay with this person leading our franchise.
Okay, let me ask you this though. Okay, this is because I'm not gonna lie. It's as a human being, right? I think that people are generally conflicted. I can come across as very hypocritical in this regard, because I'm one of those people where I like to say, okay, so this is my thing. I stopped watching the NFL because of Cap, right? When they I thought they did him wrong, so I thought that I was like, I'm done with the NFL for years, until Cap got the opportunity to try out, and whatever he handled that was that. I just wanted him to get the opportunity. He got it, and however he handled that was that. So, but I think that for me, I still do feel somewhat bit conflicted, because I still in the R. Kelly's case, right? I thoroughly R. Kelly's music, bro. And for me, I can listen to R. Kelly's music and appreciate it without necessarily feeling like, all right, you know what, this is, I'm supporting R. Kelly, right? But in essence, when you're listening as a listener, all them streams and every time you play his music, you're supporting Robert Kelly. So it's like, I do feel that I would understand if somebody felt like, hey, you know what, man, I'm gonna ride with him. It just, I'm a segue because here's a perfect example of that, right? A perfect example of this is Mystikal. Mystikal was recently arrested again, right, for some of the same kinds of charges that he was previously arrested for and was jailed for, right? So Mystikal was recently arrested for rape, something that all of his stuff always have to do with like sexual things, right? It's always like it's been there. So my thing is that, all right, bro, at this point, what are we doing with Mystikal though, bro? Like, is he? I can't rock with that now. And because I like Shake It Fast, bro.
Again, if I can look past, I ain't gonna say look past. Oh, such a wrong word. If I can listen to Robert Kelly, knowing the stuff that he did, if I can listen to it, I can listen to Mystikal. It doesn't mean I'm supporting Mystikal because of his personal life. My thing is that when we are looking at a lot of people and their art, right? There are a bunch of people that do things behind closed doors, and because of social media, we are getting to know about it. That's the person's art. And I'm cool with anybody who's like, no, I'm done listening to Mystikal. Okay, cool. I get it. But I can separate the music from the person because people are always going to disappoint you. People are always going to disappoint you because we're flawed. Everybody's flawed. We all have things that we wish never comes out. So I'm just saying, yeah, absolutely. I can.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
I can't rock with him.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It feels. This is the thing I feel about. I almost feel like I want to say I'm done with Mystikal, but for the same reasons why I would say I will be done with Mystikal, I would also have to feel like I would have to say for the same reasons that I'm done with R. Kelly as well. Because like this, okay, so he was arrested over rape, false imprisonment, and robbery charges, right? And again, those were some of the same charges that he was previously in jail for, right? And this is why, I guess, to me, not that it's any different, right? But they got R. Kelly and he ain't coming out. Well, Mystikal was arrested, got out, and now you go right back in for some of the same things. And so it's like at that point, it's like, all right, we gave you the opportunity.
Now, again, I didn't read the case. This is pure speculation, so I'm just asking you questions. Now, was he arrested of alleged accusations, or was it confirmed? Like, is this one confirmed? Like, what I'm saying is it just another one of those who somebody reported it and he got arrested for it? Or
he has been. It's so much so that he's been denied bond, and the charges basically are. It says it's multiple felony charges, including rape, robbery, and felony strangulation. So he basically choked some chick out.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. As the Mystikal, the person, in which I don't even know his real name, I can't rock with that dude. But that doesn't affect
Michael Taylor.
Okay,
Michael Tyler. I mean,
yeah. So whatever.
Listen, bro, I'm looking, and this was crazy. If you go on allhiphop.com, they got the whole bookings, inmate details, and everything like that on there. God, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just listen, man. I'm just saying though, man. Like it's just he served 6 years after pleading guilty to a sexual battery charge in 2003. And then he was released in 2010. Then in 2016, he was accused of first-degree rape and second-degree. But they said the investigation was closed in 2020. So then it's just almost like, bro, you were accused of the exact same things before. part of it because it was sexual that you served some time for us. What is 6 years behind it though, bro?
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Like I said, but here's the thing though, that doesn't take away from when I listen to Shake It Fast that I don't think about where we was at when we was dancing off of
Oh
stuff
my
like
gosh, man.
So my thing
Danger was my joint, bro.
right. But what I'm saying is those memories, you're not gonna take those memories away from me because of some stuff you did in your personal life that I had no idea about. So I'm supporting the art, not the person, because I don't know what
I
you was
feel
doing.
that.
So that's where I'm at. You're not taking the memories away from me.
Okay, let me ask you this though. Let me switch. Let me switch up this real quick on you.
All right.
I saw that Will Smith had recently apologized to Chris Rock. Since this all happened 3 months ago, this is the first time I think I've seen Will Smith even speak. I don't think I've even seen him talk in an Instagram post, right?
He hasn't.
But
he only popped up once. And he was in like a foreign country. He popped up and he didn't speak or nothing like that. It's just, people caught him on the cell phone walking or whatever the case may be. But this is the first time he's publicly spoke in 3 months. And he came out on his platform and did his thing.
So let me ask you this though, man. He apologized to Chris Rock, his mama, his brother. Are you good with that?
I am, because this is the thing. Number one, he reached out to Chris first. So he tried to apologize to the man. And he said, Chris is not ready to talk to me. So I get it. But he slapped Chris publicly. So he publicly apologized. He talked about and everything Will said publicly is the same stuff that I read in his book, like how he's responding, how it triggers him, how it's affecting him, like emotionally and mentally and stuff like that. It's all of the stuff he wrote in his book, so it's consistent in my book. So for me, I'm good with it, but I'm also good if Chris is like, nah, I'm not rocking with you. I have nothing to say to you. Like, if that's the stance from Chris's standpoint, okay. But he did apologize. He slapped him publicly. He apologized publicly, and it felt very genuine and remorseful. So I'm good. I'm good with it, because he didn't have to.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, so shout out to Brittany Rowe on the comments, also, man, checking in. Brittany Rowe said that people are saying they already forgave Will Smith, and that the comments like we don't even care anymore. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm those people, bro. Like, I think it's cool that, you know what I'm saying, that you've already taken the ownership of that you messed up. I get that. I think that I can at least respect that you did, confirm that you tried to reach out. And I respect that Chris Rock is like, I might not never be cool to talk with you about that, whatever. I can respect each one's side. But I'm totally cool if they never speak. And I don't know why, bro. Like, it happened. And it was a wow moment, jaw dropping moment at the time. But I've already, like, I'm not gonna say Chris Rock should just move on, but I've already moved on past it, bro.
But that's the thing, though. This ain't for you then, because like you said, you already forgave him. The problem is the society we live in. Will Smith is not allowed to say another word until he addresses the Chris Rock slap. Now he's done it, it's over. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's addressed it. And so if he's going to start shooting Bad Boys 4, if he starts doing whatever he's going to start doing, right? When you ask the question about, hey, so how do Chris hasn't reached out, anything they ask about the slap, he can say, listen, I've already addressed that. You're more than welcome to go to my social media and look at what my response to that. I have no further comment about it because it's already addressed. And so I'm sure his PR team has advised him to do that. Again, it doesn't, for the people that it didn't phase, okay, but there are some people that needed to hear him say that, because there are some people that looked at Will in this very, 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 very highlight. And I'm glad he actually addressed questions that fans have genuinely asked him.
Well, this is the thing. I think that the part that people were saying, the backlash, is that Will Smith basically almost like, by his apology, and you can never satisfy people, right? But some people were saying something like he seemed like he was almost making himself like a victim, basically, though. Like You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was just like, you know, man, that's the reason why people can't never do nothing. And
No,
the expectations, you can never satisfy everybody.
you're not. But at the same time, though, again, for the people that that's going to affect, that was the intended purpose. And at the end of the day, whether you thought he should apologize, whether he didn't think he should apologize, or the ones that needed to hear him apologize, it's there. It's over and done with. So now
Right.
people can use that narrative. Because here's the thing. Chris is fixing to address it. Chris got a whole stand up that he's doing or whatever like that,
I'm
and
sure.
he's gonna. So no, I am grateful that he did what he did. He's doing what he needs to do to move on from the situation, because, like I said, based upon the book that I read, and listening to the man that apologized is very consistent to Will Smith that I know. So for
Mm.
me, I got what I needed from it, even though it wasn't like it was affecting my life to hear him apologize. He addressed it. Now people are talking about it. It's over and done with. He can move on with his life and start building his comeback.
Oh, moving on. I got a question for you about moving on.
Yeah,
Segue after segue after segue. Did you hear about Diddy 2.0?
did not
Diddy 2.0.
have not heard about it.
Okay, so about a week or two ago, Fivio Foreign, New York drill rapper, right? He's probably one of the biggest drill rappers currently, right? Had an album that was very highly anticipated, and he went on $1 million worth of game, and mentioned that he signed a deal with Mace for $5,000, right? And so instantly, you and I haven't had, I'm not gonna say we know the details of contracts and everything like that, but basically, it almost implied that he signed a $5,000 record deal, right? And everybody was like, "Dang, this boy Mace is out here doing what Diddy was doing to everybody else." And what's funny about this is that you didn't know. So Mace comes on to $1 Million Game after $1 million worth of game. And it was like, yo, that wasn't quite accurate. But I love though that when they ask him about the 5-year foreign, there's almost like a little drop where Mace looks in the camera like, yeah, Diddy 2.0. And I died laughing. But what's funny about this is that people are saying that because, again, 5-year foreign, big artist right now, which is crazy because I probably still couldn't name one 5-year foreign song though. But that's a whole nother story. Mace comes on the show and was like, that's not entirely accurate. He says, I gave him $750,000. And then so they was asking him, well, what about the $5,000? He says, yes, I did give him $5,000 because I basically set up his deal so that he couldn't just cut me out of any money. Basically, he was like, because I was signing him to a record deal, I wanted to make sure that if I was going to kick him off to somebody else, that I still have my leverage as an owner. So basically, the way that Mace tells this is that no, we got him basically a $1.5 deal, and he says that he got $700,000 or $750,000, and he said the only reason why he didn't get the $800,000 is because Mace was like, well, I had already, he had already owed me $50,000 that I was basically paying that he owed me before. We got him signed. So he said, I just recouped that, and then I got that. So then it made sense. It was like, oh, okay, that was like a little bit more explainable. But I laughed about it because it's one of those things where when someone tells you, oh, yeah, I signed a $5,000 deal, you think like, dang. And it's almost like, it reminded me of like if somebody said, oh, yeah, homeboy, oh, man, he used to sleep on my couch. You know what I'm saying? When in actuality, yeah, if you was in a session with somebody, if I'm over there at your studio and you mixing some stuff down and I doze off, right? I fall asleep and you like, all right, we back on now. And I wake back up and you go and tell people, oh, yeah, I used to sleep on your couch. It's like, bruh, like that's how I looked at that, man.
Yeah, and everybody has the story. And so my thing is that people can flip out all they want to. When you sign with a major of anybody, there's stuff in your deal that if you ain't established, you getting kicked in your anus. So I Mace knows how that stuff feels, and I'm sure he's taking care of new people so that he doesn't end up being Diddy 2.0. But it's interesting to hear the stories though.
I think that he is. I think that this is the funny thing, because to be quite honest with you, I don't think that Mace is just someone that's just regularly in the headlines. So I think that he's enjoying the spotlight for the moment, though, man. But yeah, it's crazy, bro. When he said the Diddy 2.0, I fell out laughing, bro. Absolutely fell out laughing. If you didn't hear about that, did you at least hear about the boy Soulja Boy getting maced?
I did. I've heard. So I've kind of heard from the guy who sprayed him, his account. I don't know, like, I didn't really dive into the story because I'm not like a Soulja Boy enthusiast to where I'm like trying to track down everything that happens to him. But I did hear the dude get online and say his piece about it. Like, yeah, I sprayed him. Like, yeah.
Listen, bro, I don't know what it is about Charleston White that really gets under people's skin. But listen, bro, he is so, because that he's doing it intentionally to get under your skin. So he might just get out there and talk reckless, right? Talk reckless. And so so I think that what's crazy about it, let me set this on up. So Charleston White for the longest time has basically been saying he's at war with all the gangbangers, Bloods and Crips specifically, right? And he's also said some real slick stuff about Lil Durk, said some stuff about King Von and everything like that in interviews. And basically his thing is that, he said, I got a problem with gangbangers because I think that they glorify this lifestyle and everything like that, like it's a brotherhood, like this is big fraternity or whatever. And he said, well, in actuality, nobody is ever a successful gang member, right? But he said some real spicy stuff, specifically about Crips and Bloods. And so I guess he's out in Miami. And this dude comes up to him and basically kind of steps to him like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You disrespected my culture when you say that. And I guess this dude was a Blood. And while he's saying that, apparently, he says Soulja Boy hops out of van and has some of his homies there. And they hop out the van, talk about they wanted to talk. And so in the middle of that happening, he's spraying the pepper spray. And Soulja Boy says he reached in his girl purse and grabbed some pepper spray, which I don't think that if you ever saw the video that was the case. But he said, yeah, man, I've worked with law enforcement. They showed me how to spray pepper spray. So he said they was just lost when I sprayed. They couldn't believe it. He said they didn't know what was going on. And so when Soulja Boy gets on live, he says, man, this boy done sprayed me in the face, and I'm dying laughing at Soulja Boy in particular, though, man. In real tears, bro. Real life tears, though, man. So
it took me all of right till right now to get what Brittany Rowe was saying, because that boy is
first rapper ever to get maced, though, bro.
That was good, Brittany.
It was hilarious, though, man. Other big thing, though, man. Season3 been gone. Drum roll. Beyonce drops Renaissance. Ace Kennedy. Lots of conversation on this. I wanted to first get, because I might be a little biased. I'm a little biased, a lot, when it comes to Beyonce. Your thoughts on the Beyonce album?
I will say that because I haven't finished the album yet. Okay. I got about halfway through. From my experience right now, Drake definitely did it better. Bro, this project is not for me.
Drake?
Yeah.
stop playing.
Drake did it better. It's not for me, man. Yeah, I gotta finish it, man. It's a hard listen. It is not the Neo, it's not the Giveon. And I'm trying. So here's the thing. I had the girls in the car with me, right? And I was just like, man, it's really not hitting for me, right? And I said, I'm wondering if people are liking it because it's Beyonce. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things. Like, she's the type of artist she is. She's a Virgo like me. Birthday is probably, I think, a day behind me. And she is. It's like I was listening to it like, okay, am I supposed to like this because it's Beyonce? Like, how would I feel if this was another artist, right, presenting the same material?
That's fair.
And so then it was like, okay, no, I really am not feeling it. And to be fair, let's be fair. I didn't like her last project either. The Lion King joint. That wasn't for me either. I know that Beyonce is talented. I know she is a generational talent. I know that we will never probably have another Beyonce, but I am allowed to say that no, it just wasn't for me. And the style of music that it was, because I knew her style of music was going to be similar to what Drake did. They were going to go to this dance hall vibe. To me, I could listen to the Drake album again and again. I'm already saying I haven't listened to the whole album, so once I finish the entire album, I will give a more thorough review. But up to the parts that I've heard, it's not been my jam. I will say on the first song, I love the beat change at the end. I thought that was dope. But like I said, for right now, it's just not hitting for me. But I'm not mad at anybody that loves it.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. So I'm gonna try to be unbiased for a second and say that maybe I like this album because it's Beyonce, and if somebody else made this album, that I probably wouldn't like it as much.
Okay,
right? If somebody else sung the exact same things, I probably wouldn't like it as much. But here's the thing I think that's crazy, because when I heard it, I immediately was thinking like, oh, this got some Drake vibes to it, right?
Yeah.
The problem that I have with the Drake, right, is because he's not a singer, his range is very limited. And because his range is very limited, a lot of his songs sound the same to me. Almost all the songs sound the same to me on the Drake, even though his melodies may be a little different. His such limited range, because he's not a pure singer like that. It kind of makes it sounds the same. It sounds like one long song. And the thing I told you before is I typically hate house music. I don't like house music. I think I hate house music beats. But then when I listen to the Beyonce, I like that there are a lot of change-ups in some of the songs. So even the songs, the thing that I like about the Beyonce is I love the lyrics to the song. I think that I like her lyrics, and I like the arrangements to a lot of the songs. I personally still would prefer to hear those same songs over different kinds of beats, but I wasn't mad. I like Beyonce on the Afro beat style. So I like where she's not completely house music, but it's still on the Afro beat. But she got some songs that I love. Like I love Thick. Thick is probably my favorite song on the album. Church Girl is probably my second favorite song on the album. Pure Honey is one of my favorite songs on the album. Plastic Off the Sofa is dope. America Has a Problem is fire. And then here's what's funny. While I didn't particularly like Break My Soul, because it was the first, one, it's still not my favorite on it, but I see where the song fits
in the
within.
project. Yeah,
It comes right after Energy, which has that kind of tempo basically though. And then I love Alien Superstar. Those are like, she has, of the 16 songs on there, right? I think that 16 songs, 8 of the 6 are bangers to me.
well, see,
The
that's the
other
thing.
8,
I think the last thing that I stopped on was Alien Superstar. I'm just not in love with the production, right?
oh man, I love that's the thing that was going to be one of the notes that I had. Is I personally, I do like the production, and for me to not like the house feel, I like.
See, I didn't like the production, and I was like easily saying like, okay, I definitely could hear this song on a different beat. So that's where I'm kind of at. Uh,
You
so
know
I
what
will say,
I'm gonna tell you. You know what it reminded me of?
what's that?
It reminded me of. So okay, so I think that everybody, every artist, I think, comes out with an experimental album, right? Where it's different from everything that they've done. I think that most artists, and this one, when I heard this, it almost had me thinking of Outkast, Idlewild, right? Where to me, I love every single Outkast album.
Mhm.
And that Idlewild is the one that they said was an experimental album because it
Yeah.
was supposed to be like it was the soundtrack to Idlewild, the movie. But because it was a themed album, it was one of those where I was just like, eh. But when I go back and listen to it, though, it did have some bangers on it. But it's just like, all right, of the Outkast albums, Idlewild is probably the one that I have ranked the lowest. And so for Beyonce to have 7 albums, it's like, all right, I'm not gonna say this one is the one that I would rank as the lowest. It's not my favorite Beyonce, but I can see why she wouldn't have just said, oh, you know what, I'm a traditional R&B out this one, when that's all she's done in the past.
Well,
I think everybody is entitled for, especially R&B and that kind of level, would be entitled to that experimental kind of album.
but here's my thing. I will say this. I respect the hell out of Beyonce for this album, meaning that it's different. Uh, she has been in the game for 25 years and still able to chart the way she does.
Mm.
Uh, I respect. I'm not. I'm. She didn't lose me as a fan because of this project. It's just that it just wasn't for me. And here's the thing: like artists say, if you want to hear that old stuff, then listen to that old stuff. So
Yeah.
I still can. So my thing is that I have nothing but respect for her. I'm just saying, for me, when I listen to it, it's just not for me right now. It's not in the music lane that I'm trying to listen to. And yes, it gives me some Drake vibes, but Drake hit just a little bit more for me. And nothing wrong for anybody that loved this project. And here's what I will say though. What I did respect about Beyonce is she sang a lot on this album.
Yes. 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 I like. Listen, I like. Like this. What I like. Yeah, I told you last time. I didn't particularly care for the Carter where she was doing a lot of rapping. But what I do like Beyonce rapping in doses though, bro. Like, it's crazy because I think that she sounds, because I put this. I don't expect that I'm listening to Beyonce having wrote all these bars, but I think that when she's talking real spicy though, bro. And I like this Beyonce rapping in doses, not whole things though, bro.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though. I mean, when I don't know where I would rank this particular Beyonce. I think that my favorite Beyonces are probably somewhere. It's either I Am Sasha Fierce, or B Day. Those are my top 2. So it's like, I mean, and B-Day had Deja Vu. It had Ring the Alarm, Freakum Dress on it, Get Me Body. Like I think on B-Day was the album that she had that every single song she had a video out for. She had Irreplaceable on it, Check Up on it, Get Me Bodied on it. I mean, she had some songs on it. And Sasha Fierce
Lemonade.
had, yeah, well, I love Lemonade too. Lemonade, I probably would say number 3 for me. So out of the 7 albums, this one might be, it's on the lower end of it, but it's Beyonce. So it's like for me to put this, for me to put this one at number 5, still, I don't think it's a slight to this album to say that it's number 5.
So right now, the Lion King album is probably number, if she has 7 albums, that's number 7 for me. And right now, at that present listen, it's at 6 for me.
See, I'm gonna go B-Day. I'm gonna go B-Day as the number 1. I don't know, man, because Sasha Fierce got Single Ladies on it and Diva. And I'm gonna be honest, I might look like a whole gay dude when Single Ladies come on, because I absolutely go crazy when Single Ladies come on, like it ain't nobody business. But it got If I Were a Boy on there, man, and it got Halo on. I don't know, man. I know for sure number 1 and number 2 are B-Day and Sasha Fierce. Number 3 probably is oh yeah, Ego is on there too. Golly. Which one got is this Sasha Fierce ain't the one that got Love on Top. It's Lemonade. Lemonade got Love on Top, ain't it?
I couldn't tell.
Oh my God. But listen, but she has, like I said, I think that to me, all of the Beyonce albums, all of them are dope. It's just this one is the one that if I had to say on a scale of on a Beyonce scale of 1 to 10, if I was rating all of the albums, I would give on a Beyonce scale, and her scale is different from everybody else. The Beyonce scale, I would give it a 7. Now 7.5, 7.5 out of 10 for Beyonce. Yeah. Now to somebody else, you know what I'm saying? It might be a 5, but it's Beyonce, and just I do think that Beyonce on it makes it dope, bro. It does to me.
Yeah, I like I said, I will be honest and say I haven't finished the project, and I hopefully will have it done before Friday so I can come back and give my follow-up feedback. But yeah, it's for me, yeah, it's right now it's sitting at number 6 for me. So
I mean, I'm not gonna be, like I said, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be mad on that though, man. I just think that golly, bro. I'm sitting here thinking of where I put it next to all of the Beyonce albums. And listen, I don't want to just be a complete prisoner of the moment. And just some people were like, oh, this is Beyonce's Thriller. Like this album is the equivalent. Like some people think that that Off the Wall and Thriller are Mike's best albums, and then it's just like some people are like Thriller is his best one of all time. And I'm like, I'm not gonna just be a complete prisoner of the moment and go there to say, oh, this is the best Beyonce of all time. But listen, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna say that I'm disappointed though, man. I think that, to be honest with you though, bro, I think that I'm very happy with this Beyonce. If I could, I have like, is there room for me to like something more? Yeah, but I'm very satisfied with it myself.
Yeah,
she
but
got
just like how I compared the Chris Brown to the Giveon to the Neo, I have to put Beyonce in the same light. And so for me, if I'm gonna listen to out of those 4 albums, it's either gonna be Giveon or Neo, and it's probably maybe be Giveon to top it all. So I'm just saying, I'm happy for those fans that got everything they needed from this project. But now it was I'm still in the listening phase of it, and I will give my honest opinion once I've completed it.
It's so different. I'm gonna be honest. It's so different from the Giveon R&B wise that I think that it's probably more. It's so pop, right? That I think that it would be more like comparing it to Doja Cat or something like that, though, man. I don't know, bro. But like I said, Beyonce, like, man, bro. Neo. Oh my gosh, yeah, Neo. Did you see? Before we get on out of here, bro, Neo's wife made a long post where she is just like, "No, we done, bro. we all the way done. And she basically implied that this man has basically been cheating on her the entire time that they were together. And that she was like, I'm over it. I'm tired of being the one that looked like a fool. And she was like, more love, more power to you, but just it ain't including me in that though.
Oh,
bro.
I didn't know it was something recent like that.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, this was like last Friday or something like that though, man. It was very recent, but she was just basically saying though, man, like they had this thing that they had just like
Got
2
back
years
together.
ago. They got back together like right around
Yeah.
COVID, and now we were talking during COVID, like, hey, we were celebrating that somebody didn't get divorced during COVID. They patched some things on up. And I guess she was just like, nah, bro, during this whole time, the homie was still out there, though, man. And yeah. Real crazy, though, bro.
To each his own.
Yeah. Real wild, though, man.
Yeah.
Anywho, though, bro, listen, it is the week is still young. What you got planned for the week, man?
Man, it doesn't stop. We got the single done. Now I got to finish these songs for the album. So I will be trying to get some things recorded. It doesn't stop. I mean, this is going to be a busy season for me. We got the State Fair coming up next month. We have the Tashay a music awards coming up at the end of this month. So yeah, it's a lot going on. So I've got to get busy. What about you?
I'm just sitting here reflecting on these Beyonce albums still, bro. I'm looking here. I'm just thinking here on rating the Beyonce albums because I'm looking at on the album 4, Run the World, Girls, Best Thing I Never Had, Party, Love on Top. Oh, we might have to just rate the Beyonce albums on the next pod.
We ain't doing that.
Let's rate we need to do a Beyonce bracket like how we did the R&B
your own live and rate away.
We can rate the Beyonce albums though, man. No, so actually, oddly enough, though, for me, I think that I think when I actually went and I've had more time here lately to set aside for just writing though, man. So I've been finalizing some songs and then actually like it's weird, bro, because I didn't have writer's block, but I had like all kind of ADD, ADHD where I started like 10 songs and never finished any of them, where I might got part of the hook, but then started listening to another beat, and then I got some bars. So yeah, it's like now I think I'm finally starting to have everything, shaped together. So I'm with you. I'm in that season where, I'm trying to start to wrap my brain around some visuals, which I hope to have sometime really soon. But just finalizing my playlist though, man. And I think that I think I'm only gonna go with about 10, and I'm just trying to figure out which ones. This one I'm trying to put visuals out for though.
Yeah. Feel you.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, we appreciate y'all for joining us. Join us again this Friday. Pending something doesn't pop up. We have been busy, so these last couple of Fridays we haven't been on. But it's vacation season and people are moving around, so we will at least post something within the week. Thank y'all for joining the Slash Brothers podcast, and we out.
Beyonce Day.
My daddy made this beat.
We ain't gonna get in trouble from Facebook with this.
Nah, because we own it.
You've been in the gym, working on your body. You've been riding your Peloton and doing Pilates. Flexing on the gram, knowing he be watching. I be in your DMs, everybody get it poppin'. You may only miss it, I ain't even tripping. Whatever you're sipping, I gon' be convincing. You should be my living, you won't be no creeping. I ain't having you wishing, I just call you the best fan. Tell her move around and make room for the next man. Cause you moved on and I'm loving how you flexing. You see you